My name is Josh Turansky. I'm the host, along with Clint Clifton, of the Church Planting Podcast, and we wanted to take a minute and introduce ourselves to you.
Yeah, and I'm Clint Clifton, and I work with the North American Mission Board, and just spend my days figuring out how to help start new churches. The Church Planting Podcast has been a fun part of that journey for us to try to draw out the best experiences that church planters are having, and sometimes the worst experiences. So what we're going to do today is we're going to, I have these questions, and we'll post this somewhere so you can find it too. I have these questions I use with my kids. We're going to get to know each other a little bit by asking one another questions from this list. So the way it works is you tell me 1 to 100 what question you want to be asked.
Okay. All right, let's go with 54.
54, okay.
Yeah.
Is it ever okay to lie?
Oh, man. An ethics question?
An ethics question.
I think it is. I think you look at the story of the Hebrew midwives, that it seems like they lied to Pharaoh, and that was okay. So the preservation of life made it okay to lie.
I did not expect you to answer that question that way.
Really? So I taught an ethics class, and that came up, and so it's kind of a philosophical question of like, is wrong always wrong? And it's like a hierarchy. I think it was Geisler's textbook that we used. This was almost 10 years ago.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, so there's
I
like
studied
different
music.
Well, okay. So yeah, I think you can lie. I think you can lie. That's the first takeaway from that question.
Josh is good with lying, so whatever you
Enjoy the
guys-
podcast.
Enjoy the podcast. All right, let's go with number 18.
Okay, your question is this. Do you consider yourself a creative person?
Ooh. I used to. You know when you're young and you like scribble something with crayons and your parents put it on the fridge, you're like, I'm the most amazing artist that ever lived.
Yeah.
And then as you get older, other people are not so nice as your parents. No, I don't think of myself as very creative anymore, but I used to really. I used to be in a band. I was in.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the name of it?
The name of the band was Sound Doctrine. That was the band that I was in.
You're so reformed. Oh my gosh. Let's do 77.
Okay, this question is on a scale of 1 to 10. How likely are you to ever serve in the military?
I really thought about it, especially after 9/11. I thought I was going to get drafted, so then the thought was like, okay, if I'm going to get drafted, maybe I just
Why
join.
did you think you were going to get drafted? Nobody got drafted since Vietnam.
We're getting attacked. Like, here's these terrorists blowing up stuff.
Did you actually have the thought? I'm like,
So I thought about it then, but
No.
no.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll go with number 25. Number 25.
Okay, number 25. Do you feel you are trustworthy?
Ooh, well, more trustworthy than you. You lie. It depends on the category, honestly. I think people that work with me closely don't expect me to do everything I say, which I hate that about myself. Yeah. So some areas, not so much, but there are some things in my life that I pay really, really close attention to. I care about a lot, and those things I don't forget.
Yeah.
And I am trustworthy in those things.
And you steward over resources, and so obviously
I think in like a category like that, people tend to trust me.
Yeah. Okay, my number is going to be 92.
Okay, boating or hiking?
So I just started boating.
You just started boating?
Yeah, for about 5 days of my life, I thought I wanted to get a sailboat. I went sailing once. This guy let me go out on his boat with him, and I took my kids. I thought this was so cool. And then we went a second time, and I had to steer, and I was like, it was all
not
backwards.
Cool
No, it was terrible. Give me a number.
Let's go with 37.
What are you proud of yourself for?
Oh man, that's a terrible question. Who wrote that? It's one of those things that I'm most proud of, but there's really in nobody's imagination did I have anything to do with it, is my kids. My kids are, I love my kids so much. They're so fun, and they are just like, they bring a ton of joy to my life, just seeing them do regular things.
You have 4 kids?
I have 5 kids.
5, that's right.
So I have the 4 that were on the podcast, and then we're at the end of an adoption process. So perhaps in the next few weeks, or certainly by like the end of this year, we'll have a 12-year-old from Haiti, a girl named Bachina, moving. So
That's awesome. That's something to be proud of.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. They're great. Well, this has been fun, Josh.
Yeah. Hopefully this helps people get to know who we are.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about
Well,
the
we
podcast?
didn't mention the podcast at all, but you should you should listen to the podcast. Why do you do it? Why do you do it?
I remember just the process of how much church planting was like the Wild West. I loved podcasts as a medium.
Me too. By the way, I think that was the thing that got me into it. Just as a person who spends a ton of time in the car, man, I feel like I'm wasting time in a car, and podcasting makes me not feel that way.
I really liked yours, and so I was excited to participate in it, and the opportunity to just interact.
Did you actually listen to mine before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's funny. I thought you were just making that up.
No,
I know you lie sometimes.
Yes, sometimes. Hopefully it inspires and answers a lot of questions and makes guys feel a little bit less like they're alone in the field. It's like one of the most vulnerable, difficult endeavors.
Yeah.
And so as people put us in their ears, hopefully they're edified, encouraged.
Well, thank you guys for listening and paying attention to what we're doing. You know, we say at the end of the podcast, thanks for listening all the way to the end of the Church Planting Podcast.
Yeah.
And I think it's like quite a feat to get all the way to the end of something. So if you've listened all the way to the end of this video, you deserve a reward. So we'll send you something. Just send us an email.
A sticker. We'll get you a sticker.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.